These two Goku figures are from the same company. Only differences is that they're 10 years apart. Let's see how much Bandai and Tamashii has improved. Or not, maybe, who knows. Sup guys, I'm a little sick, but welcome back. Today we're not just reviewing the new Super Saiyan Goku The Games Begin, that is a mouthful, we're also comparing it to the one Bandai released back in 2010, which is the first ever Super Saiyan Son Goku. First off, with the boxes, I grew up with these old boxes, so I'm a bit biased, but I do prefer the design on the old ones here. The old designs are just absolutely amazing. The new one though is of course no slouch, but man, I just love the old designs of the Bandai packaging here. Moving to the back of the box, some things actually do carry over to the new boxes, which are the promo shots and this simple style and heroic action. I have no idea what that means, but I'm glad that it's still carried over up to this day. Moving them out of the box, we're already noticing a major difference here, which are the accessories, and this old Goku, the accessories fell off, but anyway. This new Goku is definitely worth the price. For an import figure, it's relatively cheap, only costing around $35, $30 if you're lucky in some places. But yeah, I have to say, looking at this new Goku here, I am stunned by just how anime accurate this is. This is definitely Goku from the Cell Saga Beyond. This is definitely Goku drawn by Akira Toriyama back in the day. The 1.0 version, of course, still looks good, but man, look at this. The hair, the proportions, the colors, the faces. This is Goku from all angles. This is gonna be a bit nitpicky though. The sleeves on his hands and belt are an entirely different shade of blue compared to the undershirt, so that's a bit of a bummer, but it's not really a deal breaker for me. Here's a closer look at the 1.0. It may be outdated, but it is of course no slouch either. My copy has definitely seen better days, but man, I love the look of Goku here. While yes, it is not the most accurate looking Goku by far, it still looks pretty accurate somewhat in the earlier sagas of Dragon Ball. The hair is accurate to how Super Saiyan first appeared. The gi has this nice yellowish vibrancy to it, and the proportions are very close to the early DBZ art style. Comparing them side by side, it's actually interesting looking at these two. The same figure from the same company, just years apart. It kind of looks like Toriyama's actual evolution in his art style. I have to say, when it does come to accuracy though, my god, this new The Games Begin or 4.0 body just blows everything out of the water. Let's move on to the accessories. The new Goku comes with a ton. The old Goku, well, not so much. What you're seeing are the old faceplates on the bottom here and the new ones at the top. Let's give a direct comparison to the yelling face. The old yelling face has some very obvious shading and is very well sculpted. The eyes are actually indented then painted instead of the modern face printing we're seeing here. The ears have some shading too, while the new versions do not. These two both look really good, but for my money, if I'm going for screen accuracy, despite not having as much shading, it's a sweep for the 4.0 new Goku here. Let's then compare the default faceplate and my old one, wow, is a little beat up. It has definitely seen some better days, but I really do love it still. I really love the angular look for the 4.0 though, which is of course completely accurate to the anime, but that isn't to say the 1.0 is bad. Its art style, as I've said before, is closer to the early Z manga and the early appearance of SSJ Goku. Oh, and by the way, moving past these face sculpts here, I love the gridded teeth face SHF gave us. But my absolute personal favorite has got to be this smiling faceplate here. I love the silly moments of Goku. It's some of my favorite, but I don't like him when he's acting like a complete idiot. Super. Next, what you're seeing right now are the hands of the 1.0 at the bottom and the hands of the 4.0 at the top. Let's give a direct comparison to the hands, and while SHF did lose the shading over time, they actually gave better sculpted hands. To my knowledge, these are an entirely new sculpt of hands, so it's really interesting to see how Tamashii has changed and evolved throughout the years. Here are the Ki Blast hands, and I love that the Ki Blast hands aren't fully splayed out. I kind of always disliked this splayed out hand. Never really looked quite right, in my opinion. But here in the 1.0, we actually have only one instant transmission hand and a pair for the new ones, of course. The sculpt, of course, are very different. Some similarities here and there, but what I am noticing is that the old instant transmission hand feels very gross. Feels like paint is melting and is all fucking sticky. Just absolutely disgusting. Let's just put this back in the box. I really love the new sets of the hands SHF gave us, and I'm glad that they gave a reasonable price for a whole lot of accessories this time around. Oh, and by the way, Goku comes with an extra hair piece where it's blowing in the wind. Fair warning though, changing the hair is difficult as the head follows a new joint system and the hair is very spiky and a bit of an annoying piece of shit to remove in place. I suggest using a blow dryer to heat up the extra hair piece so that you can put it on easily on the ball joint here. Moving on to the articulation segment, this actually really surprised me. Well, let's go. The head of the new one can go up that far and can go down that far, and the head can be shifted up and down, side to side rotation here. The arm without moving out the shoulder piece can move up that far. If you don't like how the undershirt looks, if it's like too far back for you, you can always move it down, which is my personal preference. I really like when it's moved down, it's more accurate. And of course, it can do a full rotation, something the 3.0 bodies couldn't do. A swivel here, and an arm bend, which is pretty nice considering the size of his biceps. And of course, the wrist joint is a wrist joint. Moving on to the butterfly joints, which are of course really impressive here. You can pretty much get your arms to cross, and of course the back is actually kind of impressive too. Moving on to the torso articulation though, which is of course one of the most controversial things of this figure. Can go back that far, but of course you have the ugly gap. Going forward is incredible, but of course the ugly gap is really prominent. Side to side, you can get a bunch of rotation there, and of course the gaps are just everywhere. But I do understand Tamashi's choice here. The leg has a swivel, going back not that much unless you put it on an angle. Going forward, which is actually very impressive here, a single joint for the knee bend, which works really well. The boot can shift forward a bit, an ankle rocker that is more than enough, absolutely incredible here, and of course a toe hinge, which is more than enough again. Let's move to the 1.0, which actually really surprised me. The head can go up that far, and of course there is an incredible gap that looks really ugly. Going down that far, which is... oh god. Okay, let's just put this thing back on. Side to side rotation. It's not quite smooth, and of course it fell off again. Moving on to the arms. Going up that far without rotating is actually more than the 4.0 full rotation. Swivel there, arm bend is good, and of course the wrist joint is a wrist joint. Why did I say it like that? The torso can move back that far, which is more than what I expected. Moving forward, incredible. Side to side rotation without having to use a rubber piece or without having to show any ugly gaps. That's just really impressive. Going forward and back on the leg is incredible. The drop down joint is crazy. And let's just use the other knee here. Of course the knee bend is great. And the ankle rocker, well, you barely get an ankle rocker here. And the toe hinge, and you also get barely any toe hinge. But I have to say, for a figure that came out 10 years ago, that is still pretty impressive articulation. The only downside of the 1.0 is that it doesn't have any butterfly joints. Size comparison time. Here is the LPZZ Batman. I know it doesn't make any sense, but here they are side by side. Doesn't make any sense in the art style or scaling whatsoever. Here is something that does interestingly make sense. The Storm Arena Ryu. These two guys, of course, they fire fireballs that are similar in color and similar in motion, so why the hell not? These guys actually look really good next to Ryu. Okay, so overall, as much as I love my old Goku 1.0, this new one is just absolutely beautiful. Yes, there's less shading in some areas, but to me it's fine because I just cannot deny the anime accuracy on display here. Yes, there are a lot of other problems this 4.0 has. The chest paint I didn't mention is a bit sloppy, the rubber body could have been utilized better, the absolutely abhorrent gap in the torso when you move it around, and for whatever reason I didn't bring it up again, but I will bring it up now. This guy's shoes are a bit loose, so sometimes he'll just topple over, but I still love it despite its flaws. I still love the aesthetic of Goku 1.0, and hell, this is my first ever SHFiguarts, so without this I wouldn't have been collecting toys in the first place. So I just love this guy to bits, of course, but this new one, this new Goku figure, is the Goku figure I've dreamt of as a kid. Perfectly anime accurate, beautiful sculpted, beautiful paint all around despite not having some shading. I just love messing around with this guy, despite the flaws. So to me, this new Goku is really good. He is a solid 8 out of 10. Could use a bit more improvements here and then. But yeah, the old one, I'm a bit biased, but he's also an 8. I mean, he did keep up in terms of articulation, which is of course still incredible, but he is a bit on the looser side, so. Now it all just comes down to preference. Which one will you choose? The old 1.0 or the new and improved 4.0? Place your comments down below. And while you're at it, hey, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.